What's up, gaming heroes? Welcome back to another awesome World of Warcraft video. I'm here today on the PTR to look at Outlaw Rogue. I've used the Wowhead talents for Outlaw Rogue in patch 10.2, so this is all like PTR stuff basically for the Outlaw Rogue. For anyone that doesn't know, I played Outlaw Rogue for around about 15 years when it was, combat, and then when it turned to Outlaw as well. But for me, I found the whole style of how Outlaw played in Dragonflight felt really awkward. And so I kind of gave up on it and I focused pretty much on Druid. I focused on Druid a little bit in Shadowlands as well, because, my rogue was too geared. So I just thought, give the Druid a go as well. But alas, it might be time to try out the Outlaw again. So I dived onto the PTR and I've been giving it a go, been playing around with it. And I do have some thoughts with how this class plays, and I just want to share them. I want to show how it feels. It feels pretty interesting. So let's look at it. Okay, so first is first. Here is the new talent tree, and I'm using the talent tree just copied from Wowhead and whacked in and imported over to my in-game Outlaw spec. Now I want to go through this. There's a few things that have changed. A couple, like the main points have changed. Is Ghostly Strike has now changed from a global cooldown to basically being able to use just pretty much whenever you like. Obviously, when it's not on cooldown, it's way better like this. I way prefer it like this. It feels a lot nicer. Second of all, the Killing Spree talent is a final talent you have to pick at the end of your tree. It is what it is. I like it. Some people might not like it. Either way, it feels pretty good. Now, having tried this spec against a target dummy, there are still some things that I think they could improve on. The one thing I really hate as an Outlaw player is having just overly too many buttons to press and randomly getting procs where I have to go find a random ass keybind to press once every 2 minutes. It's so frustrating to just have to press one button like 3 times and then suddenly I can't use it again for whenever. It feels really awkward. And the talent that does this is Audacity. Audacity is such an annoying talent to play with as an Outlaw Rogue. Not because it isn't good. It is good, but it feels really awkward to play with. As an Outlaw Rogue, we have to, we have to play basically, we're just attacking the target, right? As you do, you just attack him, blah, 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 building your combo points. And then suddenly, you now have an ambush you have to use out of stealth. So now you're pressing some random keybind that doesn't feel naturally part of your rotation. It feels really awkward. And that's my big issue with Outlaw right now, is the random off chance that you get this Audacity proc and then you have to start smashing ambush. And the problem with that isn't the fact that you're using ambush. It's the fact that your stealth bar has ambush right here, correct? But guess what? When you're out of stealth, where is your keybind for ambush? Oh, that's right. It can't be in the same place it usually is, because the simple fact is you're not in stealth. So now you have 2 different keybinds for the same ability, which feels well awkward for the Outlaw Rogue. And I just had to say that. Some people might like it, but I think it just really ruins the spec. It makes it feel really awkward. In terms of single target, Ghostly Strike really feels good, and I've always loved playing with Ghostly Strike. Simple thing is, it makes single target so disgustingly powerful, it's unreal. So in those single target situations, boss fights, raid fights, things like that, Ghostly Strike is going to be so nice to be able to use pretty regularly to just make the boss take even more damage from your awesome blades. Part of the Outlaw utility is having an awesome ability called Grappling Hook. This is a really fun ability, and it's one of the fastest abilities for travel in the game. As an Outlaw Rogue, you feel awesome because you're like a pirate throwing a hook out and then pulling yourself across a huge gap. You feel epic when you use it, right? Well, here's the thing. It also feels awkward. Why does it feel awkward? Because we have Shadow Step. So now we've got a hook and we've also got Shadow Step. So where do we keybind all of these awesome abilities? Alright, so we've got another movement ability. So now we've got 3 movement abilities. We've got Sprint, we've got Hook, and now we've got Shadow Step. which just is like, okay, well, now I've got more abilities, which is awesome, but it's also like, wow, how many movement abilities do I need? I'm going to have just not enough keybinds to actually play this character. It feels, again, super awkward. Now, if you don't mind having a bazillion keybinds, it's completely fine, which I'm sure I will get over it and I will get used to it, but it is blooming awkward. So for me, I'll probably put that on my special mouse. I've got a Corsair Scimitar mouse, which has 12 buttons on the side, so I can use that. But it does still feel like just not right personally. But nevertheless, I'll be able to do that and then jump over here and then sprint over there. There's going to be so much movement with the Outlaw Rogue. It's just interesting how this is all feeling. I think when I play the Rogue, I will more than likely not play with Audacity. And the reason for that is I know it's probably going to be like, it's going to sim as like a few percent under in terms of damage, but I don't want to play a class if it feels awkward. That's the thing for me. I don't like the whole awkwardness of this spec. It feels really wrong the way that it's built. Just having this, that I don't think Blizzard have really thought this one through with having the extra keybind for ambush, because otherwise people are going to be forced into having like a macro to have ambush on Sinister Strike or something like that. And it's going to be super difficult for players to actually be able to like gauge what like they need to press and when they need to press it, where the extra keybind is. One thing they have done really well is they have kept the feeling that you are a kind of a swashbuckling pirate, semi-warrior who goes into combat and just smashes and mashes and crashes. That is kind of awesome, and that is something I've really, really liked so far. Now, let's just say I try the talent tree without Audacity. I can see how, it plays. So let's give it a go. All right, so this definitely, okay, right, straight up. I'm just saying it straight, dude. This feels way nicer without Audacity. Like, I know I'm probably going to do less damage, but without that talent, like, Outlaw actually feels fun again. Like, genuinely feels fun again. So, yeah, if I play Outlaw, more than likely I'm not going to play that talent, because the simple fact is, it doesn't feel fun whatsoever. I know I'm screwing up loads here, and I'll need to practice this quite a bit, but definitely this feels way better when I don't play with that talent. Even though I know I'm doing probably slightly less damage, I don't care, dude. I prefer to not have an extra random ambush on another keybind for no reason. I want to make the spec easy to play and enjoyable to play. I don't want to make it a ball ache to play, In terms of movement, I think what I'll probably do is create a new keybind called Shift X. And Shift X will just be like my normal X ability here, but for my other movement abilities. So that way, I still got 3 movement abilities, but I can get a bit more used to it if I only have to press Shift and then normal ability. So when I use my grappling hook now, I could, for example, let's just target, I don't know, this guy here, right? I can use my grappling hook, and then I could easily shadow step to say this guy right here, boom, bang, ping. Pretty simple. And then I've got my sprint. Yeah, I'm sprinting around. Right, let's get back into combat. And there we go. We're back into combat. There's 4 different ways of moving around the map. It's quite interesting to be able to move. So yeah, I'm going to have to get used to that. Having so many movement abilities and being, I feel like more mobile than a actual druid right now, dude. It's just pretty crazy when you think about that. But yeah, let's try again. So let's just wait for the keybind. So in terms of movement, I'm pretty much going to be able to go around the entire room in seconds as a result of this just kind of craziness, which is going to be pretty funny. So I'm going to basically use my hook to jump to here, sprint across to this side of the room, use shadow step, and then I'm going to use blade rush to get back to this guy right here. It's going to be pretty insane. So let's go. Hook, sprint, shadow step, and then blade rush. That's insane. The movement ability we're going to have as a combat Outlaw Rogue is going to be so funny. Honestly, I've not been used to that for a long time. I didn't play Outlaw during Dragonflight, but the second I got rid of that Audacity talent, the spec became fun again for me. So I think I'm going to have to figure out ways to make that work for me. But either way, that feels really fun, and the class feels kind of like original, how it should do. In terms of playing with Shadow Dance wasn't usually, like, didn't used to be part of the Outlaw spec when I used to play it, but it is also a welcome addition. It's pretty simple. You press it, and then you hit ambush, basically. That's what you have to do. If you're in a combat, like a multi-target situation, press Blade Flurry and still hit ambush. Like, it's that simple. It's pretty fun, actually. I enjoy that aspect of the spec. I'm going to definitely enjoy that. Now, I wonder if one of the old strategies works where you open up, you do your ambush, dispatch, stealth, vanish, ambush, dispatch. Because that used to be a golden opener for me, dude. I used to love opening with that in raid fights. Sometimes I do it, obviously, with the slice and dice as well, but it depends if you want to, like, get a quick burst damage whilst you got your pre-pot on, because a lot of people will do that. It depends on the situation. I haven't tried Killing Spree yet, but I would love to give it a go. And I've just seen this talent, Crack Shot. So when I'm in stealth and I use Between the Eyes, it has no cooldown and also dispatches the target for 75% of the normal damage. So I'm predicting that Shadow Dance is going to allow us to use ambush and Between the Eyes, and Between the Eyes is going to do dispatch damage as well, which is going to be pretty interesting. Let's give that a go. That sounds kind of interesting to me. So let's try that. So theoretically, it wants me to use that. Interesting. So it's actually kind of like a bonus damage. It's making you use pistols a lot more. That's really good for Outlaw on a whole, and I really like that. Oh, but it doesn't work when you use Shadow Dance. Interesting. So it only works when you vanish, and then you can use Between the Eyes. So I generate my combo points. Let's just generate up. Okay, and then say I want to use my Between the Eyes. It has no cooldown when I'm stealth. So I could stealth, and then suddenly I can use this again. Oh my gosh, that is going to be so powerful. So you're going to be basically ambushing whenever you are using, you know, your vanish ability. You will basically use ambush, Between the Eyes, because Between the Eyes is hitting both dispatch and Between the Eyes. It's like kind of a double ability in one. It's quite cool. I really like that. So that's actually pulling out your gun once again, shooting the target and getting back to it. I love that. That's exactly what a swashbuckling pirate maniac should do. He should have an axe in one hand and a pistol in the other hand, and he should not know if that pistol's going to hit the target or not. But if it does, it's going to be awesome. That's the way it should feel as a rogue in Dragonflight. I'm thinking Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, like, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be awesome. Like, that's how I like to play Outlaw. It feels fun like that. So yeah, there's my just quick thoughts with Outlaw in Dragonflight. I'm kind of interested to see how it progresses and what your thoughts are. Please leave them in the comment section below. If you disagree with my thoughts on Audacity or things like this, or have advice and tips from an experienced rogue, then please feel free to share it. I'm open to feedback, and I want this to be an opportunity for us as a community to share our thoughts with Blizzard. Because at the end of the day, Blizzard are doing their best. We are the gamers trying this stuff out, and we're passionate. So let's share our thoughts and feedback in a constructive way to Blizzard, if we have any. All right. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to making more Outlaw videos in Dragonflight. The two specs I love in Dragonflight are Balanced Druid, and then hopefully Outlaw as well. So there'll be the videos that I'll be focusing on in the future. Thanks for watching. This is Erosium, out.